Okay, hello. We're gonna play Microscope. Microscope the RPG.
The RPG.
Does this count as an RPG? It's pen and
I think
paper,
so.
but I don't know how much it qualifies as a role-playing game. Most of it isn't
Very good
role-playing. So, I'm KDrac. Here's Lazy, Rybo, and Rashko. Say hi, Lazy, Rybo, and Rashko.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
So this is Microscope, a world-building, history-building
RPG.
role-playing game. Yeah,
Yeah, we got it.
There you go.
it's fine.
Do we get to roll dice? I'm ready.
We don't get to roll dice. We just get to describe periods and events, and just sort of plan out a fictional history and a fictional world.
Oh,
You can roll your own dice.
You can roll dice if you want to. It's not going to do anything.
okay.
Can help your decision-making skills.
Oh man, we need.
So everything we need is in this Google Doc spreadsheet. At the bottom, there's play area, palette, how to play, and backup is
And
important.
backup.
And
the most
backup.
important one.
All right, so basically, since we're creating a type of fictional history, we need to choose what our history is going to be about. And that's the big picture. That's like a summary of a book, for example. Summary of a history book. What everything is
Okay.
going to be about. So we need to
The war in
choose one.
1942.
No,
no, just
No?
no.
I'm up for
Oh.
let's not do that.
Yeah, let's-
fucking...
No, we should do something that's not like actual history. So we should make something up.
Yeah. Sci-fi,
So we can.
fantasy.
I
want
I'm
fantasy.
feeling sci-fi.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Ooh.
I could be
Uh,
convinced to do fantasy.
I'm pretty up in the air. I like steampunk, so I'd prefer something like that being.
God. So you
just-
have to break the three-way tie, Rybo. What do you want
Propose a
fantasy,
fourth favorite
sci-fi, or
option.
steampunk?
Yeah, it's fine. You can make magic
Alright,
steampunk
yeah.
or whatever. It's fine.
But outside of also
Where's
just
the dice, guys? I got a D6 over here.
Yeah, see, look at that. Like I said, it can help our decision-making skills.
Where is that D6?
and also
Never
like
mind.
aside from like setting, it's more about just like the general course of history. So something, for example, like nations unite as a single empire can be the big picture. Humanity spans across the stars and starts colonizing other planets can be a big picture. Stuff like
The
that.
world blows up.
Well, that's
End
more of
of
an
all
ending
life.
thing. I guess we can
I don't
play
know.
through the
Be a
apocalypse.
beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, anything goes. Anything goes.
Oh,
As long as
I'm
we
feeling
decide
the.
on it.
We're gonna work through the apocalypse.
Are we gonna do steampunk
That allows you to
apocalypse?
do fantasy and sci-fi.
the Earth dies briefly after humans the Earth and colonize other planets.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Maybe.
All right. All right. So
yes.
humanity just left Earth, and Earth explodes.
Long
fall
ago
apart.
enough that they have the technology to recreate what they need to travel, I guess.
Yeah, so
I
like
don't
they're like on space hulks. They're like on the giant fucking
Space arcs.
yeah, space arcs.
Sure.
S- space arcs.
That seems. I mean,
Leave Earth for other planets. I don't know.
Sure. Sure. Okay.
Or if we like it,
Keep
to
it vague.
specifically be destroy
Yeah, vague is
Earth.
good.
Vague.
Yeah,
This is the
vague
big
is
picture.
appropriate.
Everything has to relate to this somehow.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So now that we've chosen the big picture, we have to choose the bookends of history, like the start and end periods of where we want to play.
So the start should be the arcs leave Earth, right?
Yes, or it could be something else like Earth
Like that.
starts. Wow. Okay. Earth starts blowing up could also be a thing.
That's not the beginning.
We can choose anything as the beginning. This is just the section of history we're gonna play through.
Right. So I would say the departure of the arcs. Anybody have some qualms with that?
Yeah. that'd be
Yes,
fine.
that sounds good. Yeah, unless you'd want to do instead
Well,
like
the creation of the arc.
Yeah, that's what I was
yeah.
thinking.
Yeah, sure. Okay, sure.
It's probably something to get in there.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Oh,
It's fine. It's fine. We can. This is
there
why
we go,
we're
there
playing
we
on a spreadsheet instead of Roll20.
Makes sense.
All right. Okay. And so then we need the last thing that happens
Yes.
too.
The final thing. When is our history book gonna end?
God.
Space arcs are destroyed.
That's too expected, though.
Yeah.
That's
They don't. They
jealous.
could be. Well, they could be destroyed because they made it to somewhere and had to salvage them. Just saying. Yeah.
That's not a very good ending at all.
No.
Well, the
It's
humans
not.
made
It's
it
very
somewhere
tame.
and landed. Now the story's over. Great.
It's all the in between that matters, right?
I guess. Well, that's just more of a story than a time period.
Humans
Very
return to Earth to fight steampunk Satan.
Oh. God.
The end. Yeah, great.
Can it be like maybe some sort of like moral decision is made? Like go really vague about like a sentient race, so we like tell all the story leading up to the
Sure.
decision.
Meeting a sentient race could be the
are
end. I mean, it's just
Are we
the.
talking about a genocide here?
Well, yeah, wait, we don't say
Andy.
whether it's exactly. We don't say what the decision
Yeah,
is.
this
but,
is
like,
this is like
Potential genocide.
this is like a chapter summary, essentially, or what periods are.
Yeah.
mhm. But I like ending with something that's kind of like
Like,
There's
ooh,
more-
mysterious. What's gonna happen?
right. Yeah, exactly.
An eventual civil war over the treatment of whatever sentient race or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Arcs are discovered to be sentient,
Oh my God.
and then people have
space
to
whales.
argue between like, oh no, like yeah,
Guys,
just
There's
Using
space
the arcs
whales.
to destroy each other.
Can the arcs
And the
literally be
arcs.
space whales?
oh yes,
yes.
space whales,
Kind
steampunk
of,
space whales.
Yeah. It's just
oh,
a
shit.
whale.
Should I
floating
write that
through
in?
Space.
Well, we already have construction of the arcs. Does that work with space whales?
Well, you just put all the important stuff on top of the whale. That counts as construction, right?
The whale. God damn it.
It's like the whale just flies
Someone
through
else write it
space
in.
with a city behind it
Alright.
or on its back. It's totally
so
logical.
like somewhere near the end, or I guess it can.
No,
move,
no, just
right?
put it
Yeah,
anywhere
just
because we
put
can
it
add rows.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
Okay, sure. So we're doing like the decision thing.
I like that more than they just built on top of space whales.
Yes, no, yeah. It's not really a period. I'm not really sure what I'm suggesting here.
Yeah, I feel like that needed to be in there beforehand.
No, that's too vague. Like, give a name to the race, maybe. We can remember that it's
Yeah.
a sentient race, but we
Okay.
should still.
The Crabborgs.
Also, maybe not a moral decision. It's like just say
Crab
encountered
invaders.
or war begins, but
Yeah,
like
conflict ignites between whatever race name.
I mean, but we want to like put
Oh,
ourselves.
but yeah, we
into,
want to
like,
make it vague. You're right. Okay, so
So.
what's the where's the
decision is
thesaurus?
Not decision. Interaction, encounter.
Well, those
This
don't
be the
really
first,
make
so-
decision.
Yeah, I don't want to do like first contact. I'm feeling like.
Yeah, I feel
this
like
is
saying
like-
first contact would be bad.
Well, after first contact.
Mhm.
Ooh, last contact. Wow, that sounds ominous.
It is
maybe
the last
something like the
contact, maybe that's
remainders
the
of
decision.
humanity fight the sentient race, whatever you choose to name it.
Oh, how about
Fight the race. That's not what
confrontation?
this is.
How about
No,
confrontation?
no, but confrontation.
Because confrontation
Maybe.
doesn't have to be negative or good.
Ooh, what about
Well,
we
it's
just
still-
do
that suggests like a battle more than like.
Okay, how about appointment?
A reminder that
Appointment.
appointment
They
things
just
should
use-
generally try to not
I
raise
think-
as
I
many
think
questions.
there
It needs to
being
be
a
like
conflict is not a terrible thing because if
descriptions.
there's a huge gap in the way that people think over this, there's gonna be a conflict eventually, surely.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Nice.
The thing is, like rule wise and suggestion wise, these need to periods, events, and scenes need to be like saying a result, and then we
Okay,
explore the results through
Well,
like
scenes,
more
I don't
details in events and more
Or
details in
put it on
scenes.
result, it's not supposed to be.
So like
scenes are
all
like a
humans
question.
die would be all right, and then in events it's like, oh, why did they
All
die?
humans die
Did they
would
all
be
kill
alright.
themselves, or did the aliens kill them?
What
or
happened
like-
to the Dwemer?
Or did the universe explode? I don't know.
I get if you wanted it to be completely vague, I guess we could just do like humanity's on the brink of extinction. That could be the end.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
And that has nothing to do with the original idea.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
we've
but it can be
deviated a
caused.
bit.
We've deviated a lot now, but
like
okay, there
Oh,
we go.
coolio.
That works.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's a good way to get longer.
don't we have to decide whether these are good or bad things?
We do, and with
Uh,
that,
yeah.
well, we should talk about it, and then we changed the font
Yeah.
to black or white. White for light and black for dark.
Oh.
See, I planned this out. I'm
Look at this.
a master spreadsheeter.
Okay, KDrac the genie.
Thinking with my noggin. So
Sure.
this
Your whole one.
could be light or dark. Because maybe we built on top of space wells. You don't
Space
fucking
whales.
know.
Enslaved
Uh,
space. I'd say the. I'd
It's
say it
probably
would-
good in the
wouldn't it be
sense that
dark
we're all
overall?
surviving the whole apocalypse
Well, yeah, but
thing.
everyone's losing their home.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, light
But
and
it's
dark
like a
has no
dual
right or
brace,
wrong. It's
isn't
more
it?
like do we decide? Like, this is the only time in the game we really collaborate on periods.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
after
I
this
think-
point,
I think-
whoever's turn it is, they get to make whatever they make. And other people don't get a say in it at all.
Unless you want them to have a say.
Well, yeah, that's for scenes where, you know, we can have like actual scenes being played out, and that's where the role playing comes in, or doesn't come in, because you can choose to dictate
Actually,
a scene.
So I'm down for the construction of the arcs being like a bad thing. Like it's like we've lost. We tried to save the Earth and then we failed.
Yeah.
So this is like our backup plan.
Okay,
That's kind of what I was thinking. Yes, along the same lines.
we can do it. This, yeah.
And then maybe it's like, you know, they're rushed or something. So
And then what about this one? Is this good or bad? The first crossbreed being born.
that's a good question.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Hmm.
I
You
think
have
it's
to specify right away. I guess you have to, right?
Yeah, we do, and it's not going to change from this point on.
Yeah, because
I'm
if we
willing
make
to
a
just-
bunch of things that make it okay later, you
I'm
know,
willing
like,
to
it'd be
keep
weird to make
it dark just because we can make more moral conflict. You know what I mean? Like, that's our plan, right?
Hmm.
That seems like what everyone wants to do. So let's just make it dark.
Mm,
no, I like it being. I think I like it being light.
Okay.
I kind of do too.
Yeah,
All right.
it's the bridging gap. It's yeah.
Although that does kind of
Olive branch.
make it decided how it ends.
Well, yeah, I mean
That's
that's, what
why
we're
I
doing.
asked
That's
if we
literally
could-
what we're doing.
That's what I asked if we could
So-
wait.
This is why
Just
the
like
game.
orange.
Yeah, this is why the game. I mean, so like gray zone isn't something we can do where it's like ambiguous. Like, not that like it's ambiguous as to whether it's light or like good or bad right now, but like the ending has to be ambiguous. Is that not something we can do?
Yeah, like yeah, like would it be?
Yeah.
I'd say it'd be fine if we skipped saying this one's light or dark, because I feel like the periods we added between will really determine
Yeah,
that.
but the
mainly.
point of saying it, whether it's light or dark, is for just a general gist of like a trend to
Yeah,
go towards. We don't have to make the
build
events in it
moral.
light at all. All of the events in it could be dark if we wanted it to be. You know what I
Right.
mean?
So I guess are we telling the tale of human salvation or destruction, right?
Sort of. That's getting like way too specific. Is this alone, this single event alone, light or dark?
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. I see
Instead
what
of
you're
like
saying, yeah.
thinking about implications and stuff, that's the rest of the game. So like this alone. And I
Yeah,
know it's
okay.
vague
I
to
would,
call it, yeah,
like
to make a
light.
judgment call. on it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
I like
light as
light.
well.
Let's
Yeah,
keep
okay.
it light. All right,
Light it is.
Let's keep it light.
let's keep it light.
Keep it light, baby.
Cream or sugar? Fuck.
Delicious.
All right, and
Tastes a
now
bit like
if you want to
cream.
swap over to the palette tab, now each player can add or ban one thing from the palette. So there's a
man.
yes or no,
This-
and we repeat until one person has nothing to add or doesn't want to add anything. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
no.
So we go with one round. So like me, what's our order in chat? Lazy, me, Rashku, or Ribo, Rashku, and then
Nice.
we go again. But if anyone says they don't want to add anymore, then we don't go another round. That'll be the last round.
Okay.
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 So
Yeah, alright.
burritos up.
Man, if you're gonna start with me, you know what I want.
Do
we
I?
go.
All right.
Okay,
And for this,
okay.
we can't argue. So if someone
Oh,
says,
really? You
Yeah.
can at all? Oh,
I mean, we
geez.
kind
sure.
of we kind of can, but the entire point is that
Like, if you're all against it, I don't really want to force it on you.
I mean that's
No,
part
go
of the
for it.
fun of the game is that we have to work around what other
Wait,
people want or don't want.
I'm not gonna. What do you mean by steampunk, though? Like, give us a better understanding.
Specifically, just like steam-powered machines. Probably a lot of human augmentation, if possible. Like, I don't really know how well spaceships can be powered by steam, but like think like they're everyday tools and stuff like that. Because like
So, like,
the
are you
steam have
actually
like renewable water or something, so they got infinite water for their steam. I don't fucking know.
Yes.
I mean,
the
they
old
can just
Minecraft
catch the
infinite
steam.
water.
The old infinite water trick.
The old
Wait,
infinite
wait,
water trick
wait.
hits them
So
again.
are you more interested in like the aesthetic or the actual technology?
Gee, I wonder.
I much prefer the technology of it
Okay.
versus the aesthetic.
Yeah.
The technology is the aesthetic. But
Well, I guess.
I mean,
so,
I guess
like-
what he's trying to say
You're
is
right,
we
you're
don't
not
want
wrong.
like gears on our satchels. You know what I mean? Random gears
Yeah, no,
welded
that's
onto our
fine.
satchels.
We don't need random gear symbolism.
Right, it doesn't have to be like. We don't
Here.
necessarily have to be Victorian society. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, that would be ridiculous. What, China doesn't survive?
Yeah,
China
exactly.
can't- China can't be
Victorian
steampunk?
England, yeah.
Fuck you. All
Not
right,
everybody has to wear goggles for no reason.
who's
No,
next?
of course,
I'm
it
next.
doesn't have to
right?
be like super prolific. Like, I'll just make a fucking Victorian steampunk faction in one of the periods. Don't even worry about it.
Anyways, mine is gonna be no. Human magic.
Ooh.
Specifically human magic.
yes.
I don't want.
Oh fuck.
That's why we have steampunk instead. It's like human magic.
Yeah, working with water is magic. You're right.
Oh god.
It can be anything.
That's not helpful.
I know.
I know. He says, laughing.
But yeah, things you definitely want, things you definitely don't want. Especially regarding, the things we've already decided.
Yeah.
So you
See,
could
so
be like,
if
no
we-
racism, and then we would just
No
not be able to
racism.
have racism, for example,
No,
since
like
that's a
that, that's
huge
horrible.
thing that...
You know what? I kind of want to put yes racism now.
Okay,
I
yeah,
think
you can do
yeah,
that.
well,
Sure.
I agree with that, yeah.
You know what? Yeah, actually, that's what I want.
The racism.
This is
yes.
where we solidify what we
I
want to do as a group for this game.
just like the idea that I don't know when this is all happening, but
Oh, it could be any span of time. We
If-
haven't decided on the span of time. We could have left Earth in like the
it doesn't
13th
necessarily, I guess, have to
century.
be racism. Just like